This is one of the AI videos I've spent the longest time trying to make. Because if you think you can just write a prompt, throw in a few reference images, generate the video, done? Well, not exactly. Every single time I thought I finally got a good result, I'd look closer and notice that the physics looked terrible. The ball movement felt fake. Faces kept changing. And when the character moved farther away from the camera, the face became a blurry mess. I tested so many different AI video models trying to make this work, but all of them just couldn't handle this type of movement properly. And honestly, until recently, making something like this with AI was impossible. And after spending a ridiculous amount of generations and credits on this, a model finally came out that actually handles physics really well. But even that alone still wasn't enough. So if you don't want to waste a huge amount of time and generations, because I already did it for you, make sure to stay until the end because I'm going to show you not just basic AI videos where someone is randomly running or jumping somewhere, but the workflow that will give you way better physics, consistency, and actually usable results. And I'll also give you some free resources I used for this video. So let's get into it. Before we generate anything, let's talk about prompts, because this is one of the most important parts of the entire workflow. The other big piece is references and preparation, which we'll get to in a minute. But first, let's talk about prompting. At the time I'm making this video, Seedance 2.0 is the best AI video model available right now for physics, motion, and character consistency, and it performs best with detailed prompts. We're talking about camera movement, character actions, environments, timing, and a lot more. The problem is that prompts like this are almost impossible to write manually. Not because you can't write them, but because there are simply too many details involved. With so many moving pieces, it's easy for important details to get missed. And that's one of the biggest reasons most people never get results that look anywhere close to what they imagined. So instead of repeating the same process over and over again, I use Claude. And to make this easier, I created my own Seedance skill, and I'm giving it away for free. Over the last month, I spent a lot of time testing Seedance and figuring out what actually works. I took everything I learned, put it into the skill, and now most of that work is already done for you. If you've never used a Claude skill before, don't worry. Think of it like this. Normally, every time you start a new project, you're opening a blank chat. So you have to explain what you're trying to create, upload your references, and spend time getting everything set up. And if you come back later to create something similar, you're usually repeating a lot of that process again. With this skill, you only have to set everything up once. And it's not just a document with a few instructions. It's a complete assistant that helps with the entire process, from creating reference images all the way to generating the final Seedance prompt. I'll show you exactly how to set it up in a minute. You can find the skill inside my free community. The link is in the description below. And if you want to go deeper, I also share my complete workflows, project files, AI avatar systems, and additional training inside my paid community. I'll leave that link in the description as well. One quick note though, I'm planning to close enrollment for new members soon, and right now I'm not sure when I'll open it again, so if you've been thinking about joining, just keep that in mind. Now, if you've never used Claude before, don't worry. There's nothing complicated here. You don't need to install anything. Using it directly in your browser is completely fine. Just create an account if you don't already have one. Once you're inside Claude, go to Customize, click Skills, click the plus icon, choose Create Skill, and upload the file. That's it. The skill stays inside your account, so you don't have to keep uploading the file every time you start a new project. After that, open a new chat, type a /, select the skill, and start describing what you want to create, and it'll walk you through the same workflow I use myself. For example, if you already have reference images, the process is really simple. You just upload your images, describe what you want to create, and ask it to generate a Seedance prompt. And by the way, reference images are only part of the process. There are two other pieces that are just as important, and I'll show you both in a minute. So if there's something specific you want your character to do, just describe it. The more details you give it, the more specific the result will be. From there, it handles the rest and gives you a complete prompt that's ready to use. But let's say you don't have all of your references yet. Maybe all you have is a single image of your character, and you need different angles, character sheets, and everything else required for consistency. In that case, you simply upload that image and describe what you're trying to create. For example, let's use the same project you saw in the intro. Let's say we want to create a female football player doing freestyle tricks in the rain. It will help you generate all of the image prompts you need, whether you're using ChatGPT or Nano Banana. That includes character sheets, different angles, environment references, and everything needed for Seedance. And it doesn't stop there. At the end, it gives you a step-by-step guide on exactly what to generate, what to upload back into Claude, and how to get to the final Seedance prompt. Once you've generated the references you like, you simply upload them back into the same chat. The skill then takes all of those images and builds the final Seedance prompt for you. So instead of trying to figure out the entire workflow yourself, you're being guided through it step by step. And as you've probably already noticed, it generates prompts in both English and Chinese. There's a reason for that. The English version is obviously much easier to read and edit, but the Chinese version becomes incredibly useful when you're working with very long prompts. For example, Runway currently has a 3,500 character limit, so let's take the prompt we just generated and paste the English version into Runway. As you can see, it doesn't fit. Now let's take the Chinese version and paste that in instead. It's the exact same prompt with the exact same instructions, but because Chinese uses far fewer characters, it often fits within the limit without losing any important details. And from my own testing, I found that the Chinese version can often produce even better results as well. And it's definitely worth trying both versions. So the first very important part of the workflow that I mentioned earlier is motion references. Most people only use images, but everything you saw in the intro was created using both images and short video references. So I recommend finding a short video that has the type of movement, timing, or energy you're looking for, and uploading it directly into Claude along with your images. The reason this matters is because the skill was built around that workflow. So when you upload a motion reference video, the skill will automatically account for it when building the final prompt. And one thing that's really important here, it's not designed to copy the original movement exactly. Instead, it uses the timing, rhythm, energy, and overall feel of that motion, and applies it to your own character while keeping your character consistent. And honestly, that alone can make a huge difference in the final result. Now that we have the final prompt, let me show you how I actually use it. At the time I was creating this project, I was using Seedance inside Runway. Back then, Runway still offered unlimited generations on my plan. And because Seedance generations can get expensive very quickly, it made a lot more sense for me to pay a fixed monthly fee and generate as much as I wanted. The downside was that generations were slow, but because I create a lot of videos across different projects, it was still the better option for me. Since then, Runway has changed things, and unlimited generations are no longer available for new accounts. So you can use Seedance in whatever platform works best for you. The workflow stays exactly the same. Once we have our final prompt, I copy it over into Runway. In my case, the English version was too long, so we're going to use the Chinese version instead. Next, we upload all of the same reference images we used when building the prompt, making sure they're in the same order as they were inside Claude. And this brings us to the second important part of the workflow that I mentioned earlier. Creating the prompt is only half of the process. The other half is making sure all of your references are connected correctly inside the generation itself. In Runway, this is really easy. The first thing I recommend doing is renaming your files before you start. For example, I renamed this one full body character, this one face close-up, this one character reference sheet, this one multi-angle face sheet, and this one motion reference. That way, it's much easier to connect everything correctly later. And don't forget to upload the motion reference video we talked about earlier. The entire workflow was built around using both image references and motion references together. In my experience, using a motion reference video almost always produces better results than using images alone. Since the prompt already contains everything we need, all we have to do is double-click each reference and select the matching file from the upload list. For example, since I named this image close-up, I'll simply select the close-up image here. Now you can see it's highlighted, which means it's connected correctly. I'll do the same thing for the rest of the references. The good news is that these references only appear in the first section of the prompt, so once you've connected them there, you're done. It only takes a few seconds, but it can make a noticeable difference in the final result. Once everything is connected, I generate the video. Personally, I usually generate 15-second clips and create multiple variations. And one thing I want to mention right away, the final result you saw in the intro wasn't created from a single generation. It was built from multiple generations. I took the best moments from different clips and edited them together. Even with a great prompt, not every generation is going to come out perfect. That's just part of working with AI video generation right now. The goal of this workflow is to give you the best possible starting point, so you spend less time guessing, waste fewer credits, and get to good results much faster. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future videos, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.